Блять. Случайно тупой. Особняк Рейда. А какая у него, блять, тут комнатка. Ебать копать нахуй, а. Сыворотки взял. А, это можно с запасом типа сделать. Окей. И они у нас в шкафчике там будут. Окей. Я не знал. Вот это мне надо. Это потом. Тут как бы заклепок нет. А, ну ни хрена нет, ладно. Окей. Запасик я понял. А, ща. Ща, это обязательно. Вот мы выйдем сейчас из комнаты своей, и мамка сразу вот она на пути. Очень подозрительно.
Is it you? Where have you been, my prodigal son?
I'm right here, mother.
Из комнаты вышел, блядь, там 2 года сидел. О чем ты, мать?
Yes, for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now found. But where is your sister? Where is Mary?
Mary? She is gone, mother.
I know she's gone.
Дважды.
The question is, when will she return as you have? I miss my grandson so much. It's been days since their last visit.
У нее там с головой все в порядке? Okay.
Mother, do you know what's been going on in this area?
Not really. I don't go out much due to the epidemic, and when I do, I tend to get lost.
What do you mean you get lost? I hope you don't go outside alone.
Of course not. When I go out, your father always comes with me, but he leaves me there sometimes, and I have trouble finding the way back.
Блять, интересный папаша.
Have you returned to Whitechapel Cemetery since Mary's funeral?
I never want to go back to that awful place. Wait. I think I went back once. And you were there too. And Mary? No, that can't be true.
It was just a bad dream, mother.
A nightmare, yes. Mary was so angry. I walked back home alone. If that kind policeman had not called Avery from the station, I don't know what would have happened.
Странно, ладно.
Do you need anything, mother? Can I help you?
I just want you to stay with me, Jonathan. Your room is ready. I asked Avery to make your bed.
I'll stay as long as I can, I promise. Do you need anything else?
Just one thing. Stop staring at me like that. As much as I love you, it breaks my heart to look at those dead eyes.
Да, блять, у него глазницы
Are you working
такие.
on a new painting?
Пиздец.
Not recently. I have trouble focusing on my subject and my mind quickly drifts. It's the same thing when I try to write poetry.
I recently met a talented painter with an excellent technique. I wish you two could meet. I'm sure you'd like her.
I'd be glad to meet her. What is her name? Is she famous? Is she dead too?
She's not famous, and her name is of no importance. And yes, she is also dead.
The important thing is, I hope you two get along. If she ever fancies meeting your mother, I'd be glad to welcome her into my home.
Призрак
Why do you
Мэри.
say Mary is visiting you, mother? You know that's impossible.
Why should it be? Are you not standing in front of me right now? Why should it be any different with
натуре.
your sister?
Давай.
But Mary really is dead, mother.
Yes. And are you not dead too? Isn't your father dead? And my grandson? And my son-in-law?
Чё,
You're
блядь?
all gone. But you all still visit me from time to time.
Вся семейка вампиров, блядь, что ли?
But I'm not dead, mother. I'm really here, talking to you, trying not to cry.
Oh, it breaks my heart to have to tell you this. But of course you're dead, my darling boy. Just look at you, as pale as my Mary.
Ну да, есть такое. Единичка гипноза, можно сразу захавать мамку.
Goodbye, son.
Но, блядь, да, конечно, это было бы очень увлекательно, но, пожалуй, нет. Сюда так нельзя зайти, но можно через окно. Прикол.
It's locked, all right.
Заперто. Блять, в книжном шкафу 2 шиллинги, заебись. Вот это уже хорошо. Это же хорошо. Стопе.
Good evening, Avery.
Mr. Jonathan, I can't believe my own eyes. Oh, it's a miracle. We all thought you were... Oh, sir, your poor sister. What a tragedy.
I know, Avery. I know about my sister's murder.
Miss Reed expected you to return to assist with the funeral, right up until the last minute. Where have you been, Mr. Jonathan? We needed you here.
How is my mother?
Not well, I'm afraid, sir. Miss Reed is very fragile since the police brought her back home.
The police? What happened?
Miss Reed was found walking in the streets. She kept saying she had spoken with her son and daughter. She's resting now.
Has she received appropriate medical care?
I'm taking care of Miss Reed myself. Hospitals are so overwhelmed by the epidemic that they can only accept patients infected by influenza.
Что? Угу. Ну-ка. Понятно.
Perhaps we could arrange a short trip. Somewhere sunny, like France. She has always been very fond of France. I think leaving London could do her good.
I'm afraid Miss Reed is too frail for the moment. Recently, she started going out at night without remembering it. I have to watch her carefully.
Окей.
What is the
For a time, the West End seemed spared by the epidemic. But the situation is getting much worse.
Have you no relatives anywhere? I'll understand if you want to take a few days to see family.
Your father managed to guarantee my earnings as long as I take care of this house, sir. My sisters are dead, and I've never met my nephews. I'll stay, sir.
Спасибо. До последнего вздоха.
I'm sorry I could not.
Your mother was strong, sir, but your support would have been
Да,
appreciated.
да.
Apart from the
Дворецкий.
priest and I,
Убийца
no one
дворецкий
else
всегда
attended
просто.
your sisters.
Надо к нему
To be
присматриваться.
present at the funeral with you both was my dearest wish, Avery. But I'm sorry, I simply could not attend.
I would not dare to question your absence, Mr. Jonathan. All I can say is that we missed you a great deal during these difficult days.
Ну да, ну да.
Tell me the truth, Avery. Do you feel forced to stay here? Would you leave this house without the arrangement made by my father?
No, sir. I have nowhere else to go. And I promised your father I'd take care of his family as long as I live.
This house is dead, Avery. There is a curse on this family. You really should consider leaving.
If only you could have been here sooner or more often. Maybe this house would not be that empty. But you're here now, sir. So my task is not over.
Так. Таки да. Тут не поспоришь. И что я могу сказать тебе?
You have served this family extremely well, Avery. Your support during these terrible times is much appreciated.
Then
Да.
I will stay. All I ask is that you take care of my own funeral if I die before the end of the epidemic. No mass grave, please, sir.
You really think I don't take enough care of my mother, Avery?
Yes, I do, Mr. Jonathan.
You clearly have something more to say. Speak your mind, Avery.
I know you work hard to help the sick, but what will you do once the epidemic is over?
I really don't know. I have always enjoyed seeing new horizons. Once the epidemic is over, it would be nice to leave London for a while.
I understand, Mr. Jonathan. But you have to realize that your mother needs you. Your next departure could break her heart.
И как бы, да, ну все. Хорош с тобой болтать. Серебряная вилка, нихуёво. А как он ее взял? Как он мог взять вампир в руки серебряную вилку? Старое письмо. Я не уверен, но может это с ним связано. Старое письмо.
Yeah,
Не, нихуя.
Goodbye.
of course.
Не та эта подсказка. Это забаговалось. Это выход на улицу. Я как понимаю, мне не сюда. Блять, это чё? Ладно, на улицу. Типа, главная улица, ебать, какая красивая. Но чё-то не очень. Ставим потом такое. Мне пока туда не надо. Нет. Тут хотя вампиров нет пока. Это наша хата, вот ты кто? Вот к тебе
The
я хочу.
Ascalon Club. The heart of British vampire society. Not quite as subtle as I expected.
Ты кто?
Good evening, sir. Please forgive me for disturbing you. I'm a doctor.
I never judge a man by his title, but by his attitude. And you are not disturbing me at all. I am Calhoun Russell, and I welcome you.
Well, I must admit it's good to receive a warm welcome for once. I'm Jonathan Reed.
Welcome, Dr. Reed. Welcome to my humble shop.
Торговец, это, конечно, заебись. Ебать, мне все надо. Эти пока подождут. Да. Неплохо. Я могу ему сбагрить из ненужного. Вот так, допустим, это... Уже палец устал. Вот так, допустим. Ну и вот это. Нормально. Блять. Это я разберу еще, допустим. И что? Давай эти. Стоп.
Good evening, Doc.
How is the situation in this part of town?
Life is good and peaceful. We're lucky to live in such an era of progress and wonders.
Are you not concerned about the epidemic?
Oh, I'm sure the authorities would take the appropriate measure if the danger were that high.
Ну да.
Are you that blind? I've seen hundreds of victims piled up in this city each week.
Mr. Reed, please. Why are you so angry? I did not mean anything by it.
Блять. Дай хуй с ним.
Is it not a little...
On the contrary, it is the perfect hour. Believe me, my friend, it is always at night that you meet the most fascinating characters.
Ну да.
So you prefer to work at night?
Oh,
Yeah?
I also
No,
enjoy a
да.
sunny day like everybody
yeah.
else. But the night always has a certain je ne sais quoi of its own.
But what about the epidemic? The bombs and raids? And all the random violence?
Please, sir, this is London, England. We will prevail.
Ну да, ну да.
And if a bomb must fall on my shop, then I'll be there to hear it falling.
Ну да.
What can you tell me about this place?
I recently found the best steak and kidney pie in the city. I'd be glad to share.
Finding a good restaurant?
Oh, I have many passions, but nothing brings me ecstasy like subtle and exquisite flavors from my teeth to my belly.
Ага. Красавчик, чё?
I must confess, I have quite specific tastes when it comes to nutrition.
Really? Well, I'm always happy to try new exotic meals. If you ever find an intriguing table, please share the address.
Расследование.
Do you have any...
Not since my parents died.
Одинокий
Really?
лондонский гурман.
But you
блядь.
seem to be such...
I'm afraid the real hedonist has to be sometimes. I discovered ecstasy as a solitary pleasure, but it does not mean it can't ever be shared.
Ну типа да.
London's lone...
I used that name in my early years when I was a food critic, and I kept it.
Круто. Все, да. Проебал по сказочку, ну бывает.
Goodbye.
Да и хуй с ним. Не такая уж и интересная
It's
личность.
locked.
Where shall I eat tonight?
А,
It's locked,
сейф
all right.
какой-то есть, еб твою мать. Кто?
Remember,
Хули ты там?
don't let any strangers come into your house.
Good evening, sir. May I have your attention, please?
Come on, Johnny. Don't you recognize your oldest friend?
Clarence. Clarence Crossley. How are you? My God. So you survived the war too. So sorry I didn't recognize you at first.
I almost didn't recognize you either. War does that to men, I heard. In my case, it was true, for I witnessed the horror that lies underneath.
Do you need medical...
It's a little late for visiting, Am.
На.
What can I say? I haven't lost my old habits.
I hope we're talking about the same habits, old friend.
Да, у него, оказывается,
When
бывали
did you
друзья.
escape the war and return to...
You know what's funny? I almost never think about the war. Not anymore. I'm involved in another kind of battle now.
I know what you mean. I haven't had much time to think about the war either since my return.
Of course. With the epidemic, I bet you've been busy as well. Forgive me, Johnny, I didn't want to sound selfish.
What is this new battle?
I saw terrible things during the war. Horrors I thought I'd forget. They're here too.
They're everywhere. Vampires.
Да ты чё? Уедь. А я не знал.
How is your wife, Venus?
We've spent so much time away from each other. And so many things have happened.
But you're alive. You returned in one piece and you have a family. How many soldiers can say the same?
Believe me, it's not quite that simple. Unlike you, I'm not the man I used to be.
Is everything all right at home? Surely Venus was relieved to see you return from France in one piece.
Have you forgot what people are like in this part of town, Johnny? Venus fears for our family reputation. Now her husband has become the village idiot.
Окей. На него нет подсказки, да? И таки все?
You need...
Больше вы ни о чем даже попиздеть не хотите? Ну, допустим. Выпуск колонн, ну... Я бы еще по райончику походил. А где? Вот торгаш. Еще какой-то магазин, походу. А нет, это бабёха просто стоит.
Good evening, miss.
Oh my god, no. Please, Mr. Vampire, don't kill me. Please, no. I'm too young to die. I still have so much to offer this world.
Wait, no. Why do you think I would... What?
Don't worry, Dr. Reed. I know you wouldn't harm me. Mother told me you were in this part of town and might drop by.
Your mother?
My name is Charlotte, sir. Charlotte Ashbury. My mother taught me long ago how to recognize the signs that betray a vampire.
Чё?
I understand she also taught you how to tease and gently mock innocent young econs. It's a pleasure to meet you.
У нее
Miss
есть
Johnson.
дочь, а чё она такая шоколадочка? А интересно, мать при жизни такой же была шоколадкой?
What do you think about this part of town?
I was raised here, and I suppose it feels like home. You grew up in this part of town too, did you not?
Yes, I was born a few streets away.
A small world, is it not? Did you ever imagine that my mother was your neighbor all that time? That you could have met her in a dark alley at night?
You won't trick me twice, young lady. We both know Lady Ashbury never hunts or attacks prey at random.
Come on, Doctor. Don't tell me you never thought about that possibility. Her fangs on your neck. Oh, are you blushing, Dr. Reed?
Is there something
Как он
that's
мог, у него нет
bothering
крови?
Too much selfishness and individualism for my
В
taste.
прямом смысле.
Even when there was no epidemic.
Even if that's partly true, may I remind you that many charitable institutions are financed by the selfish and filthy rich?
I suppose you're right. But society must reform and renew itself, or we are all done for.
Ну да, ну да.
What are you doing out here?
You mean, what do I do outside at night since I am a woman? Let me ask you a question, sir. Would you ask the same question of a man?
Actually, yes. I ask the same question to everyone who dares to go outside at night, considering the risks.
Well, if you must know, I campaign for the right.
Are you a suffragette then? Oh, you really are.
All adult women have the right to vote in the US, in New Zealand, and in Australia.
Пиздец.
But women here can't vote and...
No need to convince me, Miss Charlotte.
Really?
Он в Англии до сих пор похуй там на мнение женщин.
How the locals
Не сработало, видимо.
People here can't wait for a wall to be built to isolate.
Explosives are very dangerous, young lady.
She is my best friend, and a suffragette too. She was supposed to...
Have you any reason?
Recently, Emily started to believe in...
Let me guess. You spoke to her about us, didn't you? Despite your mother's warning. I think...
Oh, that would be top-notch.
Прикол. Ну окей.
Tell me about your...
What do you want to know?
Who are your real...
Elizabeth Ashbury is my real mother. She
Do
ripped...
you live with her?
Понятно.
How did you meet?
First, I was an orphan in the...
Did you know she was
Не
a
особо
vampire?
интересно. Вроде да. У нее и собственный приют, нихуя себе, блять.
The correct word is Econ, Doctor. And no, I had no idea why my mother only showed up at night. She told me everything when I turned 16. Though I suspected the truth for a long time before that.
Прикол.
What exactly?
Your name and profession, obviously. And the mystery about your...
Does it not scare you to know?
Why should it? My mother is the most compassionate woman. Must I be wary of her, Dr. Reed? Or you?
Ну, нет.
Of course not. You have nothing to fear from.
Good to know. And don't worry, my mother told me everything I need to know about vampire tricks, their nature as well as features.
Your mother is not like any other vampire.
I believe she thinks the same about you, Dr. Reed.
Ой, как приятно.
Do you know why Lady Ashbury chose you to become her daughter?
No, I don't. Each time I ask her that question, she smiles and says it's precisely because I dare to ask such questions.
Do you ever regret that she chose you?
Of course not. Though I often wonder if she adopted others before me. If so, where are they buried? How is it for them to pass through life with a never-aging mother?
Так, ну как бы все, да.
Good.
She's been...
Очень интересный разговор, конечно, был. Так, это... Вот тот закрытый переулок. Не переулок. Короче, то самое закрытое место, на которое я доходил. Или нет, или вот здесь оно было. Да, вот здесь оно было. А здесь я не помню. Как будто бы нихуя. Интересно. О, Доди какой-то, блядь. За моим домом, ну почти.
I cannot enter.
Кто, леди Эшбери? Да не, вряд ли такое случится. Плафон духов, вау. А там... Там, блядь, кто? В жопе мира кто там прячется. А, это за... Я понял, вот так надо обойти мне теперь. Тогда я пойму, кто там прячется. Ну окей, придется сразиться с этим додиком. Заебись, пойдет. А где я? С кого-то лут есть, с кого-то нихуя. Ой, чипот. Куда мне... я понял, я направо пошел, а мог налево. Все, я понял, где это. Но не особо пока. Я думаю, еще дохуя просто. Эти свои жуткие звуки издают, да? Ты видала? А в оборотень-то охуел. Ульта пошла. Вау. Не, мощный рекап. Эти оборотни ваши. Песни, блять. Вырыла, блять. Это я не знаю, что и куда. И что это за хата? Ага, я понял, все, это вот спуск туда, куда я смотрел и хотел попасть. Да не, вряд ли главаря, посмотрим сейчас. Просто какого-нибудь рядового долбоеба скорее. Иди ты нахуй своей болевотиной, женщина. Мне казалось, я добил его. А как у меня хпшка, блядь, снялась, алло. Хуяли у меня просто так хпшка снимается, блядь. Я не понял. Сука, отравление какое-то, что ли, блядь. Жесткое. Бля. Пиздец. Не, ну это вообще. Ну, давай еще раз попробуем, конечно. А теперь ты здесь, блядь. Его задело взрывом. Нормально.
It's locked.
Хуёво, конечно, тут дверь заперта. Сюда я таки выпал. Это те, которых я убивал, видимо, рот. А как туда попасть, сука? Вариантов больше нет как-то. Скорострельность я чувствую увеличенную. Алло. Там 0 хп. Блять, опять забыл. О, сука. Неприятненько. Они взрываются и не дают лут, это хуёво.